but now the FDA has banned it from foods. And it's not always obvious. It's not just the bright red foods. It can be in yellow rice, mashed potatoes,
yikes,
vegetarian meat substitutes, some of that salmon that has that nice bright pink.
Red dye number 3 has been banned by the FDA, leaving many wondering what products contain it. And alcohol linked to cancer risk. Also, a bird flu outbreak forcing Georgia officials to stop poultry sales across the state. Just some of your health headlines. Dr. Frita is here to talk about. So glad to see you.
It's good to see you.
Happy New Year. Okay, so let's jump in. Let's start with the bird flu. This case was found in a commercial poultry flock in the east part of our state, affecting operations. But what about the health implications? Should we be worried?
We should not panic, but we should definitely be concerned because we know that bird flu historically has just been in birds. It loves to be in wild birds, and it can be in their droppings, in their saliva. And we know that it affects other birds like chickens, but now the bird flu has infected mammals, cows, and even humans. Right now, there has been no human-to-human transmission, but as we know, mutations can occur, and so we really need to be careful because the bird flu has a 50% mortality, meaning back in 1996 when we first discovered it in China and wild geese, over 50% of the people who got bird flu passed away, and so we do need to be careful.
And this is just for people who, you know, may be dealing with wildlife, fowl, like, you know, at farms, things like that. Like, we go into the grocery store, we're not worried about that.
Well, primarily it's people dealing with poultry or infected cattle, but if you are raising chickens in your backyard, you could get it, or if you have infected milk. So if you're someone who drinks unpasteurized milk, raw milk, bird flu has been found there. And if you are eating infected eggs or poultry and you don't cook them thoroughly, then it's a problem. So make sure you cook your chicken and your eggs at least to 165 degrees Fahrenheit.
Noted. All right, let's move on to the next one. The FDA banning red dye number 3. What is the concern with this dye? Let's start there.
It's a huge concern. So we see red dye number 3 everywhere. It gives that bright red color to candies, to sodas, to beverages. But red dye number 3 can cause cancer. It's been found to cause cancer in male research lab rats. And actually, it was already banned in countries in Europe. California has put a ban on it. And back in 1990, it was banned from cosmetics like lipsticks or topical products. So we've known that it can cause cancer. But now the FDA has banned it from foods. And it's not always obvious. It's not just the bright red foods. It can be in yellow rice, mashed potatoes, vegetarian meat substitutes, some of that salmon that has that nice bright pink flavor. So red dye number 3 has been banned, and the food industry has until January 2027 to ban it, so we have to start watching food labels.
Yeah, what do we do in the meantime? What do we look for in those labels?
You look for red dye number 3, but honestly, if the food labels are filled with words that you can't pronounce without a neurological degree, then you probably should stay away from those anyway.
Okay, so the U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Frita, I'd love to talk about this. Let's go. Has linked alcohol to cancer. Red wine, we've been told for years it's fine. Is that the exception? What's going on with that?
Caitlin, red wine is not the exception. The risks for cancer with red wine outweigh the benefits.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we used to think, okay, light, moderate drinking, you're fine, just drink on the weekends with friends. But now we know that alcohol is the 3rd leading preventable cause of cancer deaths. And when we think about alcohol, we think about like DUIs, drunk driving, and those cause 13.5 thousand deaths per year, the drunk driving. Well, guess what? Alcohol causes 20,000 cancer deaths each year, even more. And so there's no safe amount of alcohol. And so I recommend that people consult with your doctors and come up with a realistic, safe strategy when it comes to alcohol.
And, you know, a lot of people say everything in moderation. When we hear one drink is okay, what does a one drink look like?
One drink is 5 ounces of wine, 12 ounces of beer, or 1.5 ounces of an 80 proof liquor. I have patients who come to my office and say, yeah, I just drink a drink a day, and they drink a 16 ounce of brown liquor. No, it's very specific. And we're actually, Caitlin, even rethinking, because the CDC for years has said 1 drink a day for women is considered moderate, 2 drinks a day for men. But now we know even that light or moderate drinking can be associated with cancer. And so that's where we are.
A lot of things to start off this new year, a lot of things to think about. Any closing thoughts about those above 3 topics?
Well, I just want people to make sure that you're washing your hands thoroughly, and for health in general. We know we've got the quademic here, we've got the norovirus, we've got RSV, we've got COVID. So we all just need to really pay attention to health warnings, stay safe, and use common sense.
So good to see you. Always keep it real, too. We love that. Dr. Frita, thank you so much. And you can keep up with Dr. Frita on Instagram at Dr. Frita. Alex?